Friends, we are going to see complete data table activities in this video. If you like this video, please subscribe and support our channel. Thank you, friends. Hi friends, in this video we will see about data table variable. Data table variable saves the data in the form of data table formats, that is acts like a database with rows and columns. So usually data table is created when you read an Excel or CSV file, and also it can be created manually using build data table activity. There are various activities available in UiPath Studio to manipulate the data. So these I have listed out 12 data table activities which is included in UiPath. So in this video we will see all the activities one by one. Now let us move to the studio and see those activities. First, let me explain how the data table is created. I will drag and drop a flowchart. Now I will use read range activity, which is not under Excel. You can see there is two types of read range activities which comes under one Excel activities, and also another read range activities comes under workbook. So we will choose workbook. Why? Because if we cannot use this read range activity alone, it can be used inside the Excel container only. See, if you try to connect this read range activity, it will show the activity is valid only inside Excel application scope container. So better I will use the read range activity which is under workbook. Here we need to give the path. So I will open the project folder. Let me show you what data Excel sheet we are going to read. I have created an Excel sheet called Wonders, that is Wonders of the World. First sheet is DT1 I named, second sheet is DT2. So these are few wonders of the world. First one is Pragadishwara Temple, India, Great Wall of China. So like this Great Pyramid, Taj Mahal. So in these two Excel sheets I have listed out few wonders. In the first Excel sheet 5 wonders are there. In the second Excel sheet 4 wonders are there. So now I am going to read this Excel sheet. Let us see how this data table is created. So data table variable will be created and it contains these 5 columns with rows. Okay, we will see how it contains the data. Now I will go back to the studio. Here sheet 1 is, I will mark as DT1. That is our sheet name, first sheet name. So which sheet you are going to read? Wonders. This is A1 is to A2, nothing but only in that particular range data will be read. So I will delete that and use just blank quotes. So let me open the property. Sheet name is D1. Workbook path we have given. Headers. Add headers means the title will also be included. Now give wonders DT1. Okay. Let me run it. So it is successfully run. That is, the data we read is saved in this data table variable. If you see wonders DT1, now it is created by default, it is with data table type. So it is the data which is read contains in this wonder data table 1 variable, that is wonder DT1. So how to see that now, what variable actually the data table contains? So now we are going to start exploring the activities given for data table. Let me type table. So first under data table, first activity we are going to look is output data table. So better I put switch because we are going to see all the activities. I will use switch, and I will also read an second sheet also, because we are going to compare data tables for using some other activities. So I will also read another Excel sheet also, that is D2. So under XLS sheet name is D2 DT2. I will remove this because we need to read entire sheet, so I will remove it. I'll make it as wonders data table 2. Enter. Go to the variable, it has been created, and now we have two data tables, that is wonders dt1, wonders dt2. Okay, here switch, I will connect switch. So here under switch we are going to put all the activities we are going to see. I'll create here as output data table. This is the first activity we are going to see, so I will put it output data table. By default it is in integer, so let us change the property to string. Switch property, we need to change it. Okay, go to the properties, I'll change the type argument as string. Okay, now output data table. So the expression here also as the output data table, otherwise we can save it in a variable and pass it here. Okay, so I'll drag and drop output data table now, because we need to see what actually this data table contains, that is wonders dt1 and wonders dt2. I'll drag and drop output data table. So it is the table output data table. Okay, output data table is just outputs as text. So what all the data table we read, it just displays in the form of string format. So you just declare a variable called output string. Okay, now I will use a message box. I have used message box and print output string. So now we are going to see what is in the wonders data table 1 variable. Okay, so initially what we are doing, we have used two read range activities, which is under workbook. In first read range activity we are reading the first sheet of the wonders XLS, that is dt1, and then we have used another read range activity and we are reading the second sheet of the Excel, that is dt2. After reading this, we are saving first Excel we read in wonders data table 1 variable, and second data in wonders data table 2 variable. Okay, now we have used first data table activity output data table, and now we are going to run it. Now I have run the output data table activity. Now you can see output data table just displays what actually in the data table 1. So using output data table activity, you can test whether the data read is correctly included in the data table variable. Now we will see for each row variable. I have changed the expression as for each row, and here given the same for each row. I will drag and drop the for each row activity. For each row in wonders data table 1, I want to know what is the name of the wonder. Okay, now let me show you the Excel sheet so that you can easily understand wonders.xlsx. This is our data table 1. So here I want to know the wonder names. So how can we retrieve that? When the bot actually loops through each row. I'll close it. I'll go back to the studio. For each row in wonders table 1, I will use message box. I'll use row of wonder dot to string. Now I will run the code. Output data table will not get executed because in the switch I have given the expression as for each row, so it will skip this case and the control comes to this case and matches the for each row with the expression here, so only this part will get executed. I will run. Now see, it is listing out the wonder names in the Excel: Pragdishwar Temple, Great Wall of China, Petra, Christ the Redeemer, and then the archaeological site Machu Picchu. So this is for each row. So using for each row activity, you will be able to loop through the values present in the each row. Even instead of message box, you can also use assign activity and save the wonder to some other variable, and then you can use that value in somewhere for validation purpose. So if you want to see the properties of for each row, we are given the input as which data table 1. So you can also change this to, now I will change the data table. Again I will run. It will list out the wonder names in the second sheet. Okay, this is the wonder names listed out in the second sheet, and it is displaying the same. So this is the second sheet and it displayed the wonder names in the second sheet. Now let us move to the another activity. So go to the table. Now see clear data table. I will drag and drop the clear data table. So as the name suggests, it just clears the data table and nothing will be there. Now for example, wonders data table I have given as input, it will just clear the data table and make it as empty. If you have doubt, you will use output data table activity again here and you can check. So output data table after clearing, now I am giving wonders data table 1. Here already we used the variable output string. I will use message box. So actually data table will be empty. I will give wonders data table 1. Now I will run it. I need to change the expression there. I'll go to the flowchart, switch, use the clear data table. I'll run. See, it is nothing there because it is cleared. So output data table, it cleared the data table, and then the output data table reads nothing, just returns the data table and displays the same. So clear data table just clears the data table it read. Now we'll move to the next one. Now let us see join data table. Join data table. So I'll also change the expression here. Join data table. I'll drag and drop join data table. Click on the join wizard. So join data table, as the name suggests, you should have multiple data tables, or you should have two data tables to join the data table. So we have two data tables, wonders data table 1 and wonders data table 2. Okay, so when we are joining the two data table, there should be some common table column name in the two data tables, or you can, using these operations, you can compare the both column names. Now we will take the values only which matches rank. For example, column name, or we can give location. Here in the table also give location. So it just returns inner join. There are three types of joins is given here: inner join, left join, full join. So we will see all these three categories. You can come to the difference. Inner join means it will return the data what actually matched between the two data tables. Okay, I will click on OK. So it returns the output data table. I will create another output data table. I'll just use joined data table, and we will write it in Excel so that we can know what is actually the result is. So we'll use the right range activity under workbook. I'll go to the, I'll just use joined data table dot xlsx. So name is join data table. Okay, so friends, just notice here we have given the input data table as wonder data table 1, data table 2 as wonders data table 2. We have used the join type inner join. So inner join mean, and we have used the operation equal to the column table 1 location. This table 2 column name also we have given as location. So we are collecting the output in the output data table. That is, we have created another data table called joined data table, and then we are writing the joined data table into the Excel called join data table dot xlsx. Now I will run it. It's completed. Let me go to the project file, open the folder, join data table dot open. You see it is returned the values what is common in the based on the location. That is, in the first data table, location Brihadishwara temple was there for India, and then in second data table Taj Mahal is present. So it has returned the two values. So if you open, I will also show you by opening this wonders. You can see in data table 1 location India, this wonder, and if we take the data table 2, so here the location is Taj Mahal. So we have used the inner join based on the value location. So it compared the two data tables and returned the values which is matched based on the location. That is inner join. Now I will delete the value it returned. Okay, now what we are going to do means we will change the join type. I will add headers. You didn't see the title there because we have not included the add headers option. Now we have included it. Join wizard. Now I will use left join. Left join means it will return all the values from the left data table, that is under dt1, irrespective of whether the data matched or not. And then in the right data table, it only return the data matched. So after running the code, you will understand what actually it is. So we are running and we are saving in the same Excel sheet. So it completed, bot completed. I'll open it. See friends, as explained, left join means it will return all the data from the left data table, irrespective of whether it is joined or not. And from the right table, it only return the value which is matched with the left data table, because we have matched using the location India. So from the right data table, only this value is matched. So it has returned the only one value. And also another thing you need to notice is, since the column names are same, it automatically included the underscore 1. This also you need to locate. You need to make a note of it. In UiPath, since the column names are same, both the data table column names, it automatically added underscore 1. Now I'll delete this and I will use full join. Before we go full join, I will copy and paste this. We will see the difference of all the three joins, that is inner join, left join, full join, so that you can see the what is actually difference is. So I will make it as inner, then next join wizard is I will make it as left join, then final wizard is I will make it as full join. Here first sheet, let us make it as left, and I will just copy paste it, we'll make it as first, we'll make it as inner join, then left join as left, then finally full. So accordingly we will go to the Excel sheet and we'll delete the existing record. Just close. I will make it as inner, left join for left, and then full join for full. So let us close this Excel sheet. We saved and closed it. So now we are going to the execute the join data table. Before that, let us see the expression is join data table. So the control comes directly to the join data table and it will execute the activities under this sequence. Okay, let me run it. So it is executing. Just wait for a few seconds. Completed. Let us go to the join data table Excel. Okay, see, first if we take the inner join, it will return only the matched column, but it is written other rows also. Let me go to the activity and check it. See, inner join data table. Inner left full. Let us see, inner join, left join, full join, but actually everything is returned the same value. So that why it has occurred means, so finally what has happened means, it's my mistake. Finally we have used full join, So this is the latest data table, join data table. So it just got updated as full join result in all the Excel sheet. Just cut this and paste here. Now it will execute the only inner join result and write it in Excel. So next I will copy the left join and write it in Excel. Okay, now it will correctly come. Just delete, okay, save, close. Now let us run the code again and check it. So it's executed. Now let us open the join data table Excel. First we will see the inner join. See, inner join, it just returns what is the data table matched in the, what is the row matched in the two data table. So in the two data tables we are trying to match using the location, that is India. So this is the only row matching in both the data tables based on the location India. So it returns the result. If it is taking left join, first it will return all the rows from the left hand side data table, and then in the right hand side it just return the matched row. Friends, it is clear, that is left join. Full join means it returns all the rows. If any row is not matching, then it returns the null values. It updates as null values and then return the remaining rows. So full join returns all the rows. Now let us go to the another activity. We will see add data row activity. Add data row. Let us see how can we add data row to an existing data table. Add data row. I'll go to the table and drag and drop add data row activity. And go to the table, add data row. Okay, here we need to add the data row we wish to be included in the data table. Before that, let me add an assign activity. Include, create a new data row, new wonder. We're just going to add another wonder. So it should be the type system.data.data row. System.data.data row. So I'll click OK. So assign activity, you need to add new row. So new wonder row. In which data table we are going to add the row? We are going to add in wonders data table 1 dot new row. So here what we are doing means, I'll go to the project panel, show you the data table 1. So this is the data table 1 we have read, and we are going to add another wonder in this row. So for that we need to add a row in the existing data table, then only we will be able to add it. So what I am doing first is, in the wonders data table 1 I am adding the new row. So rows is wonder row, this is the row we are going to add. So now what I am doing is, I will use another activity. I will just delete it. New wonder row of rank is equal to 2. So now we are adding in this data table 1 using this row activity. Okay, I'm using the same row name, rank. Next is wonder. What is the wonder name we are going to give? Nalanda University. Date of construction, give 5th century. Location is India. So now this new data row, that is new wonder row, contains all the values we have given. So now what we are going to do means we are just into which data table we want this to be included in wonders data table 1. Then the row value is new wonder row. Okay, now what to check whether the data is read or not, we will use right range activity, or you can also use output data table and use message box to display the result. I will use right range activity. I will use added data row dot xlsx. Table name is wonders data table 1. Okay, now we will run and see the result. So it executed. Go to the project folder, add a data row. Now see, there is another wonder added in the wonders data table 1. That is the row value we just given in the add data row property. The value we gave got added here. Save. Now next we will see build data table activity. So next one is build data table. I will use build data table. So why the build data table will be used means, for example, if you want to customize, you want to add some values into your own data table, then we can go for build data table. For example, if you want to log the exception messages or any other values fetched while bot is running, then you can assign those values to the data table. For that you can create a build data table. Now I will use the same build data table. Okay, I'll drag and drop the activity build data table. I'll go to the data table. I'll just remove everything, execute. I want to extract only wonder name and the location from the, and give and create one data table which contains only wonder and location. I don't want date of construction or anything. So for that I'll just use wonder location. Okay, so I'll give name as newly built data table. Okay, now what I do means I'll use Foreach Row. Foreach Row in wonders data table 1. I'll use another activity wonder equal to row of wonder dot to string. So what I am doing means I have created a variable called wonder. Now I am assigning the value retrieved, the wonder name retrieved from the wonders data table 1. That is, every time it loops through it, it retrieves the corresponding wonder name, and then I will use the location. I will declare a variable location row of location. Now we'll go to this add data row. So once a data table is, for building the data table, of course we need to add the data rows. So what we have to do, the next step here is add data row. So every time it loops through, what is happening means we are fetching the values, the row of wonder and a row of location, and adding that values to the newly built data table. So here is newly built data table array row, or you can give us data row. If you want to give data row means, if we just before few minutes we saw add data row, using that method you can also give new data row. Now I will use array, so I will use wonder comma location just remove the dot. Okay, now what is happened means every time it is looping through the wonders data table, and it is fetching the wonder and location from the wonders data table and assign it to a variable wonder and location. After assigning, what we are doing means we have used add data row activity, and using add data row activity we are adding the rows into the newly built data table. Now let us check whether the newly built data table contains the rows added under the Foreach row. We will use the right range activity. Use right range activity under workbook. So newly built data table dot xlsx. So data table name is newly built dt. Okay, now we will run and check the result. I already changed the expression. Okay, okay, let us go to the project folder, newly built data table. So only location and wonder name is there, but there is no title. Why? Because means we forgot to check the property add headers. Go to the properties, I will check add headers. Now again if you run, you can see value with including headers. Just delete it, save, run again. Go to the project folder. Now see wonder and location. This is the two values we needed from the wonders data table. That alone we just extracted and saved in data table. Now it is giving the expected result. So like this, in your project you can use some variables while running the bot, and you can use that variables and save, create a build data table and save those variables in data table. So next we will see remove duplicate row. So as the name suggests, this is very self-explanatory. If any duplicate rows in the data table, then it just removes it. remove duplicate row. Just remove duplicate row. It's very straightforward. We are just going to pass the input data table. So in data table 1, if any duplicate values are, it will be removed. So let us add some duplicate values. Wonders.excel sheet. This is our data table 1. So while reading, let me add multiple duplicates so that I can check it out. Save. Removed duplicate. We are just creating the data table so that we can write and check it out. We'll use the as usual right range. Yes. Remove duplicate result. Remove. Sorry for the typo. Okay, now let us run it. Before run, let's make sure we are given remove duplicate row. Yes, we are given the switch. So after running, let us see the result. It is completed. Go to the Excel sheet, remove duplicate result. You see, we have added 2 duplicates. It removed and it given the unique value. Friends, again we didn't check add headers property, so it didn't include the title. So if you require, you just check this add headers property so that the output result will come with title. So next is we will see add data column. If you want at the runtime, if you want some columns to be added in your data table, then you can go for add data column. That I will use add data column. Go to the activity and drag and drop add data column. I will use column name. First, in which data table we are going to add, we will add in wonders data table 1. So column name I will give visitors rating. Okay, so now a new column will be added in the wonders data table 1. Again we can use right range activity and we can check added data column dot xlsx. Same wonders data table 1. Let us run it. Before that, let's check the switch expression. Will give add data column, so the control directly comes to add data column. Okay, now let's run it. It's executing. It's completed. Go to the project folder and check the added data column Excel. Sorry, this added data column. Okay, let me check where it is wrong. Here we had missed to select add headers. So the column name we given was not visiting in the Excel sheet. Here we are given visitors rating. Now we'll rerun this code. It's got completed. Let's go to the added data column. If you see, you can see new column is added visitors rating. Now using for each row you can give values to this visitors rating. Next we will see about removing data column. Just what we did, we'll do the opposite of that. Remove data column. Now remove data column, we just give the column name to be removed. So column name visitors rating from the data table wonders dt1. I'm using the column name. I'm removing the column name after adding the data column. So we just again we read and see remove data column. So column name we have given from wonders table. Again we can copy this and paste. Remove data column. I'll run it. So it's getting executed. It's completed. Remove data column. It's not showing. Let me check it out. Remove data column. It's not here. Let me check. Yes, it's not given. In switch the expression is not given. Add data column. Remove it. Now I will rerun. So it is getting executed. Go to the project folder. So if you see, after adding the data column visitors rating, it is got added. Immediately after what we are doing means we are removing it. So if you see remove data column, again the visitors rating is removed. Now let us see remove data row. Previously we saw add data row in the build data table activity. That is, we declared a row called wonder. Yes, add data row. Let me check where we used that. Yeah, here in under add data row activity, what we did is we just declared a new wonder row, that is system.data.dataRow data type, and then we used wonders data table 1 dot new row. We added new row and given the new values. Okay, after that what it means, we just added that new data row to the data table, and then we just wrote it in Excel sheet. Now what we are going to do means, now we are going to remove data row. Same again we use one more Excel to show it. Removed data row. Okay, remove data row. Which row I'm going to remove? The row I have added, that is new wonder row I have added. I am going to remove it. From which data table? Wonders data table 1. So add that data row. It is already here. That is added data row. We added extra wonder as Nalanda University. Hope you are following it. Added data row here. It got added. Now I will remove two duplicate values plus this Nalanda University we added. Okay. Now I'm going to execute add data row activity. So you can see the difference. So after adding we are writing into Excel, and then after removing again I am writing into Excel. Okay, before executing this, so this is why we are executing this activity, to show the demonstration of remove data row activity. Okay, now it is under the expression add data row, so I give add data row in switch. Okay, now I execute. Say the, oh sorry for the typo. Add data row I am executing. So two Excels should have created now. Let us go to the code. See added data row and then remove data row. Under added data row Excel, we will be able to see the value we given, that is Nalanda University, 5th century, date of construction, location is India. So it got added, and then immediately if you look at the removed data row, that row will not be there. See again as usual, only 5 wonders are here. So we have covered remove data column and remove data row activity. Next we will go to the lookup data table activity. Okay, lookup data table. Search for the activity lookup. Yes, it is here. Now for lookup we are going to use separate Excel. Here I have already created, that is student name with different marks. Okay, now I want to know how much Chris has scored in max. There are two Chris's there. Let me change this name. Okay, lookup data table. Which data table I am going to use? Before that we need to read that Excel, then only you will be able to create that data table. So read lookup Excel. Okay, so if it is empty it will read the entire Excel, so I am giving here empty. While reading the Excel sheet, we name this as marks data table because it is mark sheet. Okay, now what we do means we go back to the lookup Excel sheet. Okay, now just consider I want to know how much Jawgar is scored in max. Okay, lookup value, here the lookup value is the name Jawahar, so give name as Jawahar. Data table here is marks data table. Okay, here I think there is already a data table called marks. Move it. Control K. marks data table column name. So column, this is lookup column name. So lookup value you have given is Javagar. Okay, lookup column name is student name. So go back to the C. This is the lookup column name. This is the lookup column value. Okay. Then cell value, I will get it in a variable output value. The target column, that is target column index column name, let us give target column name max. Okay, I want to know how much Javagar is scored in max, and I am getting that value using output value, using the variable called output value. Now I will use a message box. Now I'll use output value. Okay, lookup data table. Here I will change the switch lookup data table. Okay, now let us execute it. So the expected result is Javagar scored centum in max. So 100 value will be displayed. It is giving expected result. This is how the lookup data table activity works. Next we will see filter data table. Okay, filter data table, will just drag and drop filtered activity, filter data table activity, filter data table. Which data table I'm going to filter? I'll just open filter wizard. I'll use marks data table. It is not appearing here because the scope, I think the scope, it is a scope issue. Let us check it out. Marks dt, I think it may be in the sequence. Yes, let us change the flowchart sequence to flowchart. Okay, we'll come back to the filter data table activity. Now marks data table will appear. Okay, I will also make the output data table as same marks data table. Okay, keep rows filtering mode. So which value you want to keep? So let us use the same. I want to know the student's name who have scored centum in max. Value is 100. So this is a filter rows, using which values you want to filter rows. You also can add additional values. Now either you can keep or remove. Let us keep the values, that is the who has scored 100 in mathematics. Output column, what are the column values we want to keep? Student name I want to know, and also I want to know how much they have scored in physics as well. I'll also max. Okay, only these three values I want to keep by filtering the rows value based on max. Okay, so input data table, output data table, also marks data table. Now I will use right range activity. Still only one activity is left for us, that is match data table. We will see after completing this. Right range, so I will use filtered dot xlsx marks data table. Okay, so the expected result is this is the marks data table Okay, from this table we are extracting the student's name, VS code 100. Okay, VS code Ganesh, S code 100, John, Javagar, student 6, student 8, they have scored 100, and their corresponding physics marks will also get displayed. Let us check it out. We'll run it. So before that we need to change here filter data table. I'll use filter data table. Okay, let us run it. Some error is coming. What is that error? Okay, so friends, do you know what is the error actually? It does not read the marks data table, because only in lookup data table we are reading and saving the data table under marks dt variable. So what we need to do means we need to use read range activity before that. That's it. So here we'll go for read range. I need to read lookup and remove this because we want to read all the values. Here marks data table. Yes, now there won't come. Sheet 1, think the sheet name is sheet 1 there, so let it be. Execute it. Executing. As it got completed, just go to the project, open. What is the name we saved? Filtered. Yes, filtered Excel sheet. Let us open it. See, it has shown we and all scored 100 in max. It is not given headers because we have not clicked the header values. I'm sorry. Let us rerun. Right range, add headers. I'll delete that Excel sheet. Oh, okay. Let us rerun. I'll go to the project folder, filter Excel sheet. Let us open. So it is given student name, physics, max, only these three columns we chose there as output. So it is displaying only these three columns. Let us cross check against lookup table. So control tab, student name Ganesh, yes code 77, and in physics 100 in max, same, it got displayed correct. John is 97 in physics, centum in max, so it's correct. Javagar is 88 in physics and centum in max. Next, student 6, student 8. Student 6 is 100 in both subject, student 8 is 177, so 100 in max, 77 in physics. So it's filtered correctly. Now our last activity is merge data table. So with this activity we are covering all the activities included under data table. Okay, thank you friends. Now we will go to the merge data table. Match data table, we will look for match data table activity. Okay, so here we are merging source data table with destination data table. This missing schema property is nothing but what all the actions we are going to perform with these two data tables. That is, four actions are there: add, ignore, error, add with key. So first we use add. Before that, let me show you which data table we are going to read. I have already created an Excel sheet named merge. Here data table 1, this is the source table, state region. Data table 2, that is, sheet name is dt2, this is the destination data table we are going to use as dt2, and then the result will be included here as merge data. Okay, so before that, what we need to do means we need to use read range activity and read the merge excel dt1, that is the first sheet name. So data table name we are going to make is dt1. Okay, here merge, okay, dt2, dt2. Again I'm removing this because we want to read the all the values in the excel. dt2 merge data table, we are adding dt1 with data table 2. Okay, it's not showing. Yes, we are not declared. Okay, okay, first what we are doing, we are adding source data table with the destination data table. Now let us see how it comes using write range activity. So in this same excel sheet I will write in the merged data sheet name, merge sheet name is merged data, otherwise it will throw an error. Merged data, so data table is destination data table, that is data table 2. This is what we need to include because we are, our source data table is dt1, destination data table is dt2. Okay, okay friends, now let me run this. Before that I will show you mesh data table property again. So we are, source is destination 1, source is data table 1, destination is data table 2. The schema action we are going to perform is add. Okay, now let us see how the output comes. So before that, this is the source data table state region, this is the destination data table city region, this is the merged data. We'll close this, save, change the switch expression as merged data table. It is filtered data table, we need to change it. And go to the switch, what is the name, merged data table. Merged data table. Okay, now I am execute it. It's getting executed. Okay, now move to the project folder, what if, open the merge excel sheet. So it just added, again I forgot to add the headers. Let me go to the merge data table, right range, add headers. Okay, okay, I will rerun it. It's executing. Okay, if you see in the destined data table, city region is there, it got added city region, that is it added all the column names, and then what all the data is available is just entered in the, under that column, which is not available it just left as blank. So this is for the add schema. Okay, next is ignore, that is also another schema. Let us check how the result comes for that. Go to the, just need to change the sheet name as ignore. How it is given there, think ignore only. Yes, ignore. We need to change the schema as here for merge data table. Okay, I'll change this as ignore. I will run, it's executing. Go to the project folder, open the merge. Now ignore. See, you ignore if the table is not available, column name is not available, then it just ignore the result. It only merged what is common to both. That is, in the destination data table, city region is there, but in the source data table, state was not there. So it just excluded those results, only merged the region value, because in source data table, state is, that is, city is not there, only region is there. This is the ignore result. Now next is, we need to give error. So if we give error, it will not execute, it will say, if the column names are not missing, it will throw error. So it will not give any result, but let us run it so you can show what kind of output it is producing. See, target data table missing definition for the column state, that is, it is comparing both the destination state and the original state. Since the state column is missing, it is throwing an error. See, destination column is compared with original column, state column is missing, so it is throwing an error. And the final schema action is add with key. Actually, add with key gives the same result as add when you execute, but actually when you search in .NET, there is a separate concept is there, that is adding primary key to the data table. So as of now, we are not going to cover that, but I will tell you, you can go through the more information. Add with key missing schema in .NET, just search, you can see the information about add with key schema here. If possible, I will work it out on this and put a separate video what actually it makes a difference. So in the meantime, if you like to know about add with key schema action, you please search for uh, that is add with key missing schema on .NET, you will come up with this page. Okay, we have covered all the data table activities, you have not missed anything. So friends, thank you for watching this lengthy video, and as usual, please, if you like this channel, please subscribe and support. Thank you friends.